In today's unboxing, we take a look at the Scout bike set for Warhammer 40k. Let's take a look.
There are hobbyists among us, geniuses with the ability to play any game they want to. In 1978, a corporation known as The Interior isolated a young hobbyist named John and exploited his genius for their entertainment.
Then one day, their hobbyist ran away.
Here we have the Scout bike set for Warhammer 40k. It contains 3 miniatures, so you'll get 3 of these Scout bikes. Go ahead and flip it over. And you can see a pre-painted model for the Ultramarines, but it does show some stuff here for some of the other chapters. I'm guessing these are going to be decals that we're going to get here. Then, of course, it gives the painting scheme that they are using, some of the paints that they're using here. Again, this is always one of my favorite parts of these Citadel Warhammer sets. So if you want to have an idea of what they're using, they let you know right here. So if you're getting this and you're new to the hobby, it kind of lets you know what paints you might want to get. Well, let's go ahead and crack this open and take a look inside. See what we actually have. Now, this is a fairly thick box for just a couple sprues. I don't know why they decided to make this box so thick. It definitely doesn't need to be. So we have 3 of their bike bases, which is usually I just kind of skip over these, but since these are very unique for them, that they are these real long bases, I definitely wanted to kind of show those off. And give me a minute now that we got the box out of the way. The box causes a lot of glare, so I have some lights off. Let me go ahead and get some extra lights on, see if we can't light this up a little better now that we're going to hopefully get rid of that box glare, and we will take a look at everything we got in the box. Okay, and that is definitely much better. Alright, so let's take a look at the water decal set that we got. And it doesn't look like they have any special insignia or other chapter symbols, so you are only getting the Ultramarine stuff. It is nice though that they have some of these lieutenant type stuff, commander type stuff, some little things here. Now, for these water decals, the way that you use these is the one that you're going for, you're going to want to cut out just that one little decal. Put that in some water and the decal will separate from the paper, and the glue is already on the bottom of this decal. Then you'll notice, because it kind of starts to be able to slide around the paper, then you can literally just wet your miniature, the area that you're doing, and literally slide that over to the part of the miniature you want to apply it and put it down, and then it'll dry. There are other technical items like microsol, microset, that kind of stuff that will help with water decals, but technically they are not a requirement. You just don't want to put this whole thing. You want to make sure you only cut out with your hobby knife the one decal that you're going for at that given moment. And just in case, now that we got some of the better lighting, let's take another look here. Go, so we can see so it kind of has a little bit of rails there, but there we go. And then of course we have the instruction manual. We will look at this last, because one of the fun things I always have when looking through these manuals is seeing the customization options that you really shines through once you're looking through the manual, and the potential places for magnetization. I'm already seeing one with this little pole they have going right here to possibly be able to see if we can't magnetize that so we can swap, hot swap it around or what have you. We'll look at that last. All right, and it looks like it comes with 3 sprue. So we will take a look at each one of these individually. And So are they all the same? This looks identical to that one. Let's see here. 10, 10, 13. 10, 10, 13. And 10, 10, 13. So yes. So we have 3 identical sprue. So I don't, oh, there it is. And then there is that pole that we saw right there. So it does look like there are 3 of them. Let's go ahead and take a closer look at the sprue. Now, one of the things that is nice is, you know, it's kind of a shame that they're all identical, so there's not a whole lot of customization that you're going to be able to do here. But one of the benefits is you don't have to worry about accidentally putting the wrong seat or the wrong legs on the wrong bike. I know a lot of people have that problem with, say, like the Thunderwolves for the Space Wolves, that they are slightly different. So if you put the wrong seat on or the wrong legs on, it can be hard to fit everything correctly. Being that these are all, one sprue, everybody's the same. You don't have to worry about accidentally putting the wrong ones on, the wrong legs on, or the wrong whatever. But the downside is you don't have as much customization options. So I guess everything is, plus or minus. And I do believe they make upgrade sets for this to be able to turn these kind of bikes into some of the other faction type ones. But this right here is just the base bike squad for the base Space Marines, base Ultramarines. And here we have the instructions. Let's go ahead and flip through this to see what it looks like. Again, after looking at the sprue, I'm doubting we're going to see a whole lot of customization. It looks like, everything is a one-to-one part, but we're going to go ahead and take a look to see what potential options there are. And here's letting us know what tools that we need, showing you the outcome of building and putting everything together. If this is all the instructions, I'm going to laugh. That'd be the... Oh my dear Lord, that is. And here are the instructions for this one. Let me see. Do they even have part numbers? They do not even have part numbers on this one. So I don't know if this is an old set that I got, or if this is... I might have to run by my local GW shop and take a look, because I know that they still have these. This is a very needed, useful set. A lot of if you want to put speed on the field and really book around, especially if you are playing, say, Death Watch, and you have the Cassius kill team, because you have that one biker in here, so you can make a nice team squad with him. And then of course, since these shoulder pads are separate and the arms are separate, you could probably fairly easily upgrade these guys to Death Watch scouts fairly easily. But for this right here, let's close up here. This is the first I have ever seen this for DW. I haven't seen this in any of the other manuals that I have or instruction books that I have done for them. This is the instruction manual for this set. That is crazy. Yeah, come back into focus. Now we flip and we get into the rules in all the different languages. And yep, that is it. That is crazy. But anyway, but the fact that we only see this on this one, and it attaches to the bike. So it looks like, let's see here. Once we glue the two bike parts together, the center of that bit right there is where it's going to go. And there is that. That looks pretty thin. I doubt you would be able to drill that and put a magnet in there. So if you did want to make this hot swappable, This piece right here definitely looks big enough that once you put these together, you can drill a little hole in there and put one of your smaller magnets in there. And then for this one, I would just get a sheet of metal. So, you can find them in the hobby stores, and then cut out just a little piece, and then glue that piece of metal onto the end here so that the magnet will stick to that metal. And then of course then you can paint that, do whatever you want with it. And then of course, since the skull is there, you'd want it facing, so you'd want the piece of metal right here on that side. Other than that, there is not a ton of magnetization potential in here. The only other thing that I can see that you might want to do magnetization wise is maybe putting a magnet under his butt and on the seat of the bike itself. Not in the game that you ever do this where you have the rider come off of his bike, but nothing says that you have to use this base. If you were to maybe to get the full round base, I don't think there's a reason. You're giving them more room because when they're aiming for you, they're aiming for the base and they can go to that. So you're giving them, your opponent, more to target. So as long as you're not making it smaller, I'm pretty sure you're okay to just change the base. Or yes, so as long as you're going bigger, you can change the base, not going smaller. So what does that mean? If you were to get the full base, kind of like you would get with the Thunderwolves or a Dreadnought or something like that, then you could possibly have the bike here and then have him standing next to his bike, or something along those lines. So then if you were to make say a couple of him, and where I've even seen people put magnets in the base themselves, so you can have two figures, so that way you can have him off his bike and then swap your figure and have him on his bike. I could see that. I think would be a very cool upgrade for this to be able to make this set your own. And then of course making it faction specific, especially when you have some of the ones that come with upgrades, or when you have sets like the Death Watch, who has a biker in one of their sets, in their Cassius Kill Team set, that you can kind of use for inspiration to try to make additional ones. That I could see would be very useful to, again, try to upgrade this. But as it is, you're just getting your three identical sets. Not a whole lot to do here. So to make this your own, you really got to put some work in. But to me, that would make this even better, because the more work you have to put into it to make it your own, the more pride that you can take that, I have done something. I haven't just taken, the 15 different extra parts they've given and chose, part 7 instead of part 4. Here you actually have to kit bash a little to get these, and I love that. Well, that is everything for the Scout Bike set for Warhammer 40k. I hope this unboxing has helped you to determine if this set is something you would be interested in to add to your 40k army. Well, until next time, everybody, I'll see you later.